First off, my name is Ibrahim Mpiana. I grew up in Zambia, lived there for about 10 years and moved over here in 2006. The schools were dealt with very differently than over here in terms of like discipline, and parenting styles were pretty similar to that too. I didn't really have any excitement towards the move at all. I had never seen what it looked like over here before, so I didn't know what I was expecting. The plane rides and all of that was pretty freaking exciting. And I was like, where am I right now? This is pretty great. I'm terrified for my life because I'm so high up, but I'm watching Chicken Little, and and this is really awesome. The very first thing I remember seeing was downtown at night. All the lights, the colors, the buildings looked really amazing. It was something that my country did not have at all, at least the area that I grew up in. I grew up in a Muslim family, but personally, I never felt a connection to God. I think that the culture and society over here started to allow us to gain a sense of individuality. And I started to research and read a lot about science. I started to just question way too many things, and I kept coming to a conclusion where it was like, there's no God. A lot of that like really screwed up my mentality, especially when it came to like the verbal and physical abuse within our own home. Depression started setting in, and it just got worse and worse and worse, and I'd always wonder about my own existence and why I was even here. And when I first started college, I just started doing a lot of crazy things. It was bad. My depression peaked to a level where it was uncontrollable. It makes sense to me that it was more of a spiritual battle, a spiritual attack, and it was something that I couldn't fight against because I didn't know how to at the time. And for that moment, it kind of won. And on June 6, 2014, I made a drastic decision. That night, I drove out there, and I got out of the car, and I put a message on Facebook, basically a suicide note. And I took a leap. And then I felt a hand on my back. Someone was holding me. And I hit the ground, and I walked away with barely any bruises other than some scratches and a dislocated hip, whereas doctors told me you could have died. Then I started to really think back on faith and God, and I started to wonder, maybe my life did have meaning, maybe I did matter. And I started going through a church, and my sister was the only Christian in our family at the time. So I started talking with her a lot and went to church with her a lot. All the darkness, all the depression started to go away. And the more I would seek God, and the more I would pray alone in a single space or in the car, it got me those answers, and He got me that faith. And there is bad, but I don't have to let that affect me. I can just be me, and I can be happy, and I don't have to let anybody take that away. I always used to be a nerd. I kept my head into a lot of books. Then the first season of Arrow came on, and I was like, holy fucking shit, this is really great. I love this, and I want to do stuff like this. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to UTA and study film. So that's what I did. Came into intro semester at UTA, and Jessica was in that class. Jessica right now is my wife. But I stepped into the class, I think it was like the very first day or a few days. Our first interaction was very small. I was trying to sign my name on the attendance form, and she had it, so I just stepped up to her and I was like, can I borrow your pen? She's like, sure, but you have to pay me 25 cents or something like that. I was like, okay, but I got you later, I'm broke right now. But I instantly had a crush on her. A little after that, we started kind of dating and being around more each other, spending a lot of time with each other. And after a few months, I woke up one morning and she was sleeping there right next to me. I had this feeling that I wanted this person to be with me all the time through all the years to come. So right there in the morning at like 7 a.m., I just asked her if she wanted to marry me, and she said yes. We're somewhere in Arizona. In about an hour, we drove to Las Vegas, and we drove for a really long time. It was really great. We never got mad or frustrated with each other. It was just happy, and it's been about a year and a half since then. I do a lot of different art, like digital, drawing, and even film. Within each of those pieces, I always try to think back to the experiences that I've had. I try to pull from all of those things that I've physically and theoretically seen and thought about, but then abstract them and not tell the narrative straight on as it is, because that's the kind of art that I like.